Hello everyone, in this video of digital photography lessons for beginners, lesson number 4, we're going to talk about the wide aperture is the best for portrait photos. What does the wide aperture means, how to set it on your camera, and how to take nice shots of your friends, relatives, or anyone that you want. This is Iyad from Zero to Hero Photography, and before we kick off, I'd like to remind you that this is my 4th day in my YouTube challenge of posting for 21 days in RAW. I need your support by liking my video and activating the notification bell. You know, when someone asks you to take a nice photo of them, usually people tend to like seeing photos where the subject is separated from the background. Sorry, this is the background. Imagine me, for example, I'm the subject, and it's nicer to have a blurry background so it's separated, or maybe has different color. Anything that you do with the background that separates it from the subject will be nice. But now we're talking about the aperture. When you play around the aperture changes the depth of field, which means the blurriness of the background behind the subject. The aperture is controlled by the opening of the lens, as we mentioned in previous videos. I'm gonna put some links on top. Now, the aperture on your camera is represented by numbers, f-stops, f1.2, f1.8, f4, f8, and f29, 22, and so on. The bigger the number is, the smaller the opening of the lens is. And the smaller the number is, the bigger the opening of the lens is. I know it sounds confusing, but imagine this is the lens. And if you close it, this means you're using more of the lid to close the lens. So the number of the lid is big. So the bigger the aperture number, the more closed the lens is, and vice versa. What does this mean? This means, of course, that the light is controlled when it comes into the camera. When you have bigger aperture number, small opening, the photo will be a little bit darker. But we're not talking about the light now, because you can change the settings by playing around the ISO and shutter speed to increase the brightness of the photo. But when we open the aperture as much as possible, which means setting it at a very low f-stop number, this means that the subject will be sharp and anything behind it will be blurred. The kit lens that comes with the standard cameras is 18 by 55 millimeter wide. The widest one, and the aperture number for it is usually 4. You can't go beyond or below f-stop 4. F-stop 4 or 5 can be good sometimes if you put the camera a little bit closer, look like this. Now you see everything is blurred around my hand, and my hand was in focus. See again? My hand is in focus and everything behind it is blurred. Or here's me. Everything is more blurred. This is how to use the kit lens camera. But if you want to invest in a lens, you can buy some lenses that come with a lower aperture number. They're usually more expensive because of the manufacturing cost of these lenses. And they can go below up to 1.2 actually, f-stops. And the lower the number is, the more blurred the background will be. And it affects other aspects. But let's focus on the depth of field for now. My recommendation for beginners like myself is to buy if you're using Canon or any other camera, the 50mm prime lens. It's fixed, you can zoom in or out. But the aperture comes at 1.8. It's this lens actually. See, it's tiny lens. And why did I recommend it for beginners? It's because it's affordable. Almost most of the brands, or almost all of the brands, the camera brands, sell this lens at a lower price than the other lenses. This is to encourage you to become a photographer or to take nice photos. And because the manufacturing cost of these lenses are cheaper. It's made of plastic as opposed to other ones, bigger ones, or even smaller ones that are made of metal. This is an affordable lens. You can buy it for $120, but once you do it, it will change your photography game. I've tried it taking some shots of my friends, and they thought that I'm professional. I just changed the lens, and it gave me nice depth of field. I have a full video above about trying or reviewing this lens for photos and videos. Give it a shot and try it. But this can go low up to 1.8, which is really good. And by the way, it allows more light to go into the camera, which is good for night photography. So bottom line, the wider the opening of the lens, the nicer the portrait photos are, because they separate the background. Give it a shot, try and open the aperture in your camera and see how it goes. If you liked my tip for the day, please hit the like button, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to support me on my YouTube video challenge of posting for 21 days in RAW. So I need your support. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.